Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to talk about my Sephora sale recommendations, beauty and fragrance. No skincare, no body care, and I'll explain why at the end of the video. These are all the recommendations that I have, a basket full. I tried to narrow it down, but apparently I didn't. Hi, I'm Camille. I'm into all things beauty, lifestyle. I like shopping high-end and low-end for my beauty. I'm definitely a frequent flyer at Sephora, but also I have drugstore favorites, natural favorites. The winter Sephora sale is one of my favorite sales to shop. They have a lot of the holiday bundles and kits that already have a deal, and then when you add on the sale, you just end up saving a lot more, at least in my head. I go all out more so in the winter Sephora sale than in the spring. Let me know if you guys feel the same way, but I wanted to recommend things that I use pretty much every time I use my makeup, or if not every time, then super often, and some of my favorite scents at Sephora. So let me know what you'll be shopping for this year, whether what's on your list, what's in your cart, or what you're re-upping on, because for me, it's going to be a lot of re-upping on my tried and trues. I'm only recommending what I use and love. A little bit about the Sephora sale. It's a tiered sale. Sephora collection will be 30% off throughout the duration of the sale, November 1st through the 11th. Rouge will be the first tier to have access to 20% off of everything. That'll be November 1st through the 11th as well. If you're VIB, you'll get 15% off, and that starts November 5th. Insider also is 10% off, and that also starts November 5th. Keeping it real, unless you're getting things from the Sephora collection or unless you have Rouge, check first if the brand that you're shopping from will likely have a sale for Black Friday or like a winter sale in general. You might save more for that, but if not, then now is the best time to shop on the things that you have on your wish list or in your shopping cart, or the things that you need to re-up on. Let's just get into this video. Let's try and break it up in categories like complexion, and then we'll see what kind of categories I get into. Okay, let's start with the smallest category, which is fragrance. I feel like nowadays I more so get like fragrances not at the mall or at Sephora. I love a lot of air fragrances, like brands like Lattafa. Oh Lord. But I still have some perfumes that I do grab for all the time that you can get at Sephora. Okay, let's start with these three because they're all from the same brand. These are fragrances from Forever Mood, and I have the whole collection including NDA, but these are the ones I reach for the most out of the collections. Whew. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews on this collection of perfumes, but personally I'm a huge fan and highly recommend. Starting with what I feel like might be the most user-friendly. Might be the most blind buy worthy. Oh, this smells so good. This is You Remind Me. And this is a super clean scent. If you love your skin but better type of perfumes, I highly recommend this. It's very fresh and clean, but not like too soapy or screechy. It smells like you just left the spa. It has like some fruity notes, like if you let me just spray on this right now. It has notes of apricot in it as well that make it kind of juicier than a plain Your Skin But Better type of scent, but I highly recommend this. It's a super easy perfume to wear on the daily, and then also it layers well with a lot. I like to layer this a lot with other perfumes in the collection. Now this is I Am Her by Forever Mood. This is the ultimate girly feminine scent. This is very juicy. It reminds me of like a champagne or some type of sparkly pink cocktail drink. It just smells very, very sweet and bubbly. It also has like cakey notes in the dry down, but not in a gourmand sense. In a gourmand sense, ooh, that got me. It's not necessarily like a cakey perfume. I'm not going to go too in depth with like notes and stuff like that in this video. I'm going to do a full review on this collection. I've had it for the last 3-4 months, 4 to 5 months, and I love them. But I feel like this is what you want to wear when you want to feel very pretty, very feminine, very confident. Yeah, I love this. Now this also, if you are a gourmand girl, you would probably love this. This is probably a fan favorite. This is Hard to Get by Forever Mood. This is a lemon pound cake in a bottle. Like, just think a lemon pound cake with some vanilla icing drizzle on top. That's what this is. At first, I definitely didn't expect this to be what it was from the notes, but this is a banger. I feel like I'm not going to reach for it as much this winter, but use it in the spring and summertime. This is such a pretty girly scent that's super cakey and sweet. Highly recommend. Okay, so those are my recommendations from Forever Mood. Now, moving on, this is YSL Black Opium Le Parfum. Now, this is not like the original Black Opium. This is a vanilla fragrance on steroids. This is like the ultimate vanilla fragrance. One of my favorite vanillas, honestly. Layers so well with a lot because it's a pure vanilla. Like this is like vanilla, brown sugar, but also some other stuff that's making it really deep and sexy and nuanced. I'll have to look at what the notes are, but I highly recommend this for all vanilla lovers. And I feel like even if you didn't love the original Black Opium, you would still love this because it's different enough. This is a perfume that stands on its own. This is Cherry Ambition by the Seven Virtues. This would be... Ooh, this is such a sexy, sweet, and syrupy cherry scent. It has a lot of sweetness to it, so it's not so bitter as like Tom Ford Lost Cherry, but this is a very sweet, syrupy take on a cherry scent. It's also kind of smoky as well. I like this brand and how it like has a give back initiative. And also all their formulations are clean. This smells so good. I feel like this would layer well with a lot of vanilla scents, or even sometimes I mix these two together. This brings out the sweet girliness, and this is like a sexy, more sexy feminine scent. So when these are combined, a really great perfume combo. Another combo I really like are these two. This would be a banger. Fall and winter evenings smell so good together. Sometimes if I want to see if a perfume combo would go good together, like I'll just smell the lids together. So good and sexy. Okay, I feel like we're on a roll. I'm trying to like not make this video too long. Those are all my fragrance recommendations. If you have any Sephora fragrance recommendations that you have for me, leave them in the comments down below. But that's what I've been reaching for and loving the most. Here's another small category, lippies. First, we'll start with my two favorite lip balms at Sephora. I'll go ahead and start with my favorite. This is Slick Salve by Topicals. If you're on TikTok, you've probably heard about people talk about this lip balm. And this is a glossy lip balm. Like, let me swatch it on the back of my hand for you. Like, it's super glossy and high shine. I like that you don't have to go in after with another product to like get that glossy look. If you grew up using beauty supply lip glosses, then you know what I'm talking about. But even growing up, I did have dry lips, so before using those, I'd have to use a lip balm first, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but I like that. This is essentially two products in one. It's a gloss and a balm. I also do find it really hydrating. I have bought this a few times since it has come out, and I highly recommend. If you put too much though, it can definitely like get that buildup in the corners, but be mindful when you're applying this. Not too much, okay? A little bit is enough. And the second one is this Ole Henriksen Pout Preserve. The name sometimes. Pout Preserve Peptide Lip Treatment. So I find that this to be a super hydrating and moisturizing lip balm. I don't wear it for the look. Honestly, this color slash flavor kind of gives like a little bit of a yellowish tint. So I really prefer to wear it at night or when I'm at home and not like going out. But I find this to be super hydrating on the lips. So now let's get into more of like makeup-y lips. This is a Sephora Collection lippy. I highly recommend these, and these are going to be 30% off, which is great. I only honestly buy Sephora Collection stuff during the sale unless I really need a re-up. But I always have a few of these lying around so I can have a few of them in my purse, because this is genuinely like one of my go-to lip glosses. This is what are these called? These are their lip plumping glosses. I don't buy them because they're plumping. I feel like when you put them straight on the lips, then you can tell that it's plumping, but I usually have a little gloss or maybe a lipstick under, and then this is like my topper. So I can't really speak too much to like the plumping effect, but I love the shade. Here, let me just swatch one of these. This is in the shade Outrageous, number 2. Okay, it's hard to kind of see. Okay, I feel like you might be able to see it. I feel like this is a nice like milky nude topper. And if you're wearing like a really pretty chocolatey brown liner, this just looks really good on brown skin. And then this is a Huda Beauty Faux Filler lip balm or lip gloss, right? Is that what it's called? I really like this. I've been really getting into like mauves. I used to just be super into like milky nudes, but I'm branching out even with this lippy I have right now. But this is like more of a mauve. I really like the formula on this. So let me swatch the color. See how it's kind of like a mauve-y nude? I feel like it looks really pretty, especially whether I'm doing like a glam look or a natural look. I always wear a liner with it though, but I really like the formula and the color payoff that this has. And then the last recommendation is this Tower 28 lip gloss. This is in the shade Wild. It's what I'm wearing right now. Actually, let me add a little bit more. Ooh. At first I was a bit intimidated by this berry color because like I was saying, like I used to be super obsessed with nudes, but this is really pretty, and the fall is a perfect time to like branch out with berry colors and reds for your lips. Even like with nails, like I was always a neutral girl, like French tips only, and I've been branching out more outside of the nudes. And so this lip jelly, I think that's what they're called, like, yeah, Shine On Lip Jelly has been one of my go-tos when I want like a rich, deep pop of color. And Tower 28, I'm pretty sure they're a clean beauty brand as well, so I really like them for that as well. And these are super hydrating. That's a huge plus. So yeah. Next, let's talk brushes. Now, I usually get brushes from like Real Techniques or Amazon. So if you want to hear some of my makeup brushes recommendations that aren't from Sephora, let me know in the comments. But these are 2 Sephora collection brushes, so they'll also be 30% off. This is a contour brush, or this is a bronzer brush. I use it with my cream contours and cream bronzers. I love how soft it is, and it's like super dense, so you really get to pack in and blend out your cream bronzers really well. I feel like it makes it super easy. I usually used to use a beauty blender for that, but then I found this, and honestly, I've slowly transitioned to becoming a blush girly for my my cream complexion products. Yeah, so I highly recommend this if you're looking for a brush highly recommend this if you're looking for a brush to blend out your cream contours or bronzers. And for your powder contour or bronzers, Pro Contour 79 brush, also from the Sephora collection, is really great. You're able to like really get into the hollows of your face to blend out your powder contour and bronzer. So I've really been liking these two, but those are the only ones that I get that are from Sephora. So this is, see, it's just super soft, but also super densely packed that it really applies your powder contour really well. And speaking of contours and bronzers, let's just go ahead and jump into complexion. So one of my favorite, actually hands down my favorite cream contour is this Tantour by Huda Beauty, to the point where the label is rubbed off. I've used this, it does look kind of strange. I use it all the time. This is in the shade Rich, and it is super dark and deep. And this is a true contour. It's not too warm, but also it's not too cool. It's a great neutral shade if you are a dark complexion, and I feel like it blends out super well. So I highly recommend this. This is definitely a staple in my makeup routine. And for a powder bronzer, I like this Bobbi Brown. If I'm being honest though, I typically reach more for this powder bronzer duo from Juvia's Place, but I also really like this one. If I'm looking for more of like a natural bronze look, I really like this. It's not too warm. I feel like a lot of brands, they just throw straight up red, call it a bronzer for dark skin, but I feel like this is a really great shade on my complexion if I'm looking for more of a natural bronze look. Let's talk blush. I have 3 blush recommendations from all different brands. So let's start with the Sephora collection. This is a Sephora collection blush, and I think it's in the shade Jealousy. I've actually completely rubbed off the back of it, so I can't tell what the color is, but if I remember correctly, it's in Jealousy. But even like the front, it's super worn off because I use it all the time. If you love a pink, like a Barbie pink, well, this might not be Barbie pink, but a Barbie pink for black girls, then go ahead and try this shade. It's super pretty. I'm wearing a little bit today, but typically I will go overboard with this, and I feel like, okay, I guess you can go overboard, but not to me. This is a safe space when it comes to blush applications. I highly recommend this. It's so pretty in pink. The next one I have is from Patrick Ta. I know the whole thing is like a mirror and it probably looks all dirty, but this is the Patrick Ta blush in the shade She's Vibrant. Let's take a look at the inside of this. I love the packaging, but also I feel like you get a lot of product for the price, because on top is like a cream blush and on bottom is the powder, and I definitely use both. I know Patrick Ta talks about how he likes to put the powder first and the cream on top to have that like glossy finish. I do like to do that sometimes, but honestly, I typically prefer to do it the traditional way of doing the cream first and the blush and then the powder blush on top. Either way, it's a super pretty color. Here, let me swatch it. Probably more appropriate for summertime, but honestly I wear it all the time because I love pinks like this on me. I feel like it's kind of corally, and those are the type of blushes I lean more towards, either super pink or kind of coral. And then this was a bit out of my comfort zone. This is the powder blush by Rare Beauty in the shade Truth. This is like a highlighting blush. Here, let's see. See how like shimmery that is? Okay, let me swatch this. Can you tell how shimmery that is? This is a really like shimmery blush, and I don't know if you are also like me and haven't really been using highlighters that much recently. And if you're looking for a little bit of a small introductory back into using highlighter in your makeup routine, then a blush like this might be great because it has a highlighting effect on your cheeks. I think these are really pretty, and especially like with Christmas parties and stuff like that coming up and you want to look super festive, this might be a nice option. Ooh, let's talk powders. I have a lot of powders that I'm recommending today. Ooh, okay. Even more. Okay, I have a lot of powders. But okay, they all have a time and a place, right? So let's start with these Sephora collection products. Let me get a paper towel and wipe some of these old swatches off. Let's start with these pressed powders. See, this one is all the way done. I actually need to get another one during the sale. Like I said, I really only prefer to buy Sephora collection products during the sale because they're 30% off. But if you haven't heard of the Sephora Micro Smooth products, they are like a pressed powder that typically I would recommend to use as like a finishing powder. And so I recommend getting like a highlighting shade and then also more of like a skin tone shade, because the finish it gives you after you're done with your makeup is really pretty. I feel like it has a really great blurring effect. Maybe on a no makeup day, sometimes I'll wear this with like just sunscreen and like mascara, and that'll also give a really pretty effect. Like if I'm not trying to just look glossy or greased up and I want a little bit of powder, then I'll reach for something like this. I highly recommend the Sephora Micro Smooth. They're probably one of my favorite products from the Sephora collection. Let me know if you've tried these. I feel like I've heard a lot about these getting discontinued, and if that is the case, I would be really sad because these are like a must-have in your complexion routine. I feel like I can confidently say that. And then back with the Sephora collection train, this is the Sephora collection translucent powder. It's in the shade Universal, and it's truly translucent. I feel like people have compared this to the Laura Mercier. Never bought a full size. I do have a mini of that, but I don't use it enough because I don't feel like I need to. I feel like this is really good at setting your makeup and making sure you don't get oily throughout the day. I feel like it also has a blurring effect, and it's truly translucent, and that's something I really appreciate because some of these translucent powders don't truly be translucent. Another powder I like to use all over the face to set is this One Size powder, and this is in the shade Dark Deep. I've never used their translucent powder. I like this to use all over the face, especially if I know I'm gonna have a super long day. It helps with like oil control and blurring, and I like that it is complexion colored because I feel like it adds some coverage. If I'm going for a super full glam look, then I'll probably use a powder like this, but if I'm going for a more natural look, then I'll probably use this translucent powder because this doesn't add coverage, but this does. It's super long wearing. You can't really go wrong with this. I highly recommend this, and I've had this for a long time, and a little goes a long way. You don't run out. I know One Size has a lot of great bundles, the Christmas holiday gift sets and stuff. I'm not sure if there's any that have this in it, but something to consider. My favorite baking powders to use under my eyes, and yes, I still bake, is the Huda Beauty powders. These are the Easy Bake Loose Baking and Setting powders. I have the shade Cinnamon Bun and Peach Pie. I use Cinnamon Bun a lot more than I do Peach Pie. I use this under my eye on its own, but if I want a more like brightening look, then I'll use this and then add a little bit of this as well if I want like a super dramatic bright under eye look. In general, I'm almost always gonna set my eye with this. I feel like it really is blurring. I remember the first time I used these powders, I I wasn't understanding the hype. I was only using like these powders in my under eye. And the first time I used it, I was like, whoa, like this is actually very super blurring, super long wearing, and very beautiful. I feel like it's perfect for the under eyes. I don't use these all over my face, but I highly recommend using your under eyes and also in your T-zone. I feel like it just gives a flawless finish and it makes your concealer last a long time. So I highly recommend those. And speaking of concealer, let's just talk concealers. When I was thinking about concealers I recommend from Sephora, I realized most of my favorite concealers are actually from the drugstore. So if you want a drugstore favorites recommendations, let me know. But these are a few that I reach for frequently that are from Sephora. First is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. I love how thick and creamy this is, in the medium to full coverage that it gives. I'm obsessed with like medium to full concealers, and this blends really well. I feel like it doesn't crease in my under eye. Honestly, I don't really have many notes for this, and I love the shade range that they have. I feel like NARS has a really good complexion like grip on their complexion products. Very good shade ranges all around. This is super long wearing and I like that it is buildable. This is in the shade Amand. I guess you could consider it like a highlighting shade for me. These two I kind of view similarly, so I'll just go ahead and talk about them together. I like when the little G on this Giorgio Armani like actually hits the front. Wait, hold on. Okay, there we go. This is the Giorgio Armani Perfect Glow Concealer, and this is the House Labs Triclone Concealer. This actually has a really long name. Let's see. Triclone Skin Tech Concealer. I find these to be my more like natural like concealers. If I'm going for a light glam, these are what I reach for. I view them very similarly because they both blend out in a similar way. I feel like they're very light and kind of thinner concealers. They're not as indestructible as this or some of my other drugstore concealers, but sometimes I'm not trying to be like super like beat under my eyes. Like sometimes I want a pretty natural look and I reach for these for that. This is one of my more like highlighting concealers. This is in the shade 10. And then this is like a medium highlight. Not too bright, but also not like skin tone-y. So they all have their time and place. This is in the shade 41 Medium Deep Neutral. I actually used both of these concealers today, and I'll typically use this first and then a bit of this Giorgio Armani one in the inner corner. And considering that it's just an inner corner highlight concealer, I don't put a lot, and a little goes a long way for this. If you're into a natural look, a natural finish for your concealers, then I recommend these. Since I was just talking about Giorgio Armani, let's get into these liquid blushes. I forgot to talk about them when I was talking about the powder blushes, but these are the Luminous Silk cheek tints from Giorgio Armani, and I feel like I was never really into the cheek tints until I started using these. I love how they blend, and I feel like you can use them for a glam look or a natural look. And I like to mix these two together, kind of like for an ombre look. I'll typically start with this darker one on the higher ends of my cheekbones, and then I'll use this lighter one down here. I just like them for their blendability. I have a cheek tint from Juvia's Place that if you use one dot, it's almost too much. These are pretty light and sheer like the name suggests, so you can build it up or you can go as natural as you want with these. So I feel like it's very fitting for a lot of different glam looks that you're trying to achieve. Let me swatch these. So this would be really pretty during the fall, and this is 65 Intense Berry. And then there's also this one, a really pretty pink. I probably wouldn't wear it on its own, but I usually blend the two together. And this is in the shade 62. Ooh, we're almost done. I thought this video was gonna be too long. Let's talk sprays. I have two sprays that I'm recommending for the Sephora sale, and honestly both of these are typically in really good holiday sets that have really good deals. This one you can find, I know for a fact these are always in some holiday sets that are priced really well. Same with this. You need a re-up, which I do, as you can tell. I feel like the winter Sephora sale is the best time to do that. So let's start with the Charlotte Tilbury. This is, like it says, a super flawless finish. I like to spray this at the end and also in between steps when I'm doing my complexion, and it really increases the long wearability. Is that a word? The long wearability of my makeup. And also I love the finish that it gives. It just melts all the makeup together, but not in a weird, sloppy, greasy way. It just gives it a really like beautiful melt together, and then also it increases the long wear. Now, if you're gonna be having a super long day or if it's hot outside, then I really recommend this On Till Dawn mattifying spray. This is not for everyday use. Or maybe it is if you have super oily skin or like you live in like, I don't know, Arizona or something. I use this when I know I'm going to be out for a long time and I need my face to be sat from the time I leave my house to the time I get back home. This is a very serious spray. Like you got to hold your breath when you spray it down, like everything. Like it's very serious, but it works. It will have your face sat. It will have your face laid. It will have your beat laid for the duration of the day. Like this, I feel like everybody needs this in their makeup routine because everyone will find themselves in a situation where they need their makeup to last and not play games. This is what you do. And if you combine these two, congratulations. Your makeup will last your whole life. I have no primers that I recommend. Ooh. Yeah, all my primer recommendations are drugstore right now. Okay, so we definitely have to do a drugstore video. And let's talk complexion, or like, yeah, foundation, I guess. Starting with this Danessa Myricks Blurring Balm. Oh my gosh, why did I smell it? I've already hit pan, which is crazy. I just got this a little bit ago, but I use it all the time. I use it on no makeup days when I just need to like put a little something on my face really quick and run out the house in like 3 minutes. It gives a very natural finish, and so it just looks like your skin but better. Super light coverage, but also sometimes I wear this under foundation as well. It just enhances the overall finish. This works on a variety of skin types, skin textures, ages, and everything. I feel like it looks really good on everyone, honestly, and I feel like Danessa Myricks really ate with this blurring balm. Is that what it's called? Yes, blurring balm powder. Is this Supergoop Protectant. This is SPF 50. It's a tinted sunscreen. I like the Supergoop sunscreen, even though I haven't used it in a while. But if I'm looking for, like, if I just want to do like a natural makeup look, but I want some SPF, I reach for this a lot. Like, I ran out of sunscreen a week ago and was using this every single day and forgot how much I loved it. If you're looking for a natural finish skin tint, but also want some SPF, like who doesn't want SPF? This is great, and the color is pretty nice. What is the shade? I robbed off the shade. I highly recommend this for a tinted sunscreen. And these are the 2 foundations I recommend. Also, again, some of the foundations I have are drugstore, and those are some of my go-tos. But when it comes to foundations available at Sephora, these are 2 of my go-tos. This is more of a natural finish. Well, honestly, both of these are natural finish. This is like, I mix this with everything because I love the finish that it has. This is the Dior Backstage Face and Body Foundation. Apparently it's waterproof. I've never put that to the test. And this is in the shade 7.5N. But I really like how thin it is, but it still provides a lot of coverage. Super long wearing as well. If I know I'm gonna have a really long day and probably be sweating, this is something I reach for. It has a buildable coverage, I'd say. You can apply it and it looks super natural and skin-like, and then you can also build it up if you want more coverage. A medium coverage foundation. This is a Makeup Forever HD Skin Hydra Glow foundation, and I have combination oily skin, and there's not a lot of glowy foundations that I can wear without looking like a BP oil spill at the end of the night, but this is one that I can. I like that it has hydrating skin ingredients and still gives you that skin-like, beautiful, like dewy, glowy finish without looking like super oily and greasy. So sometimes I'll mix these 2. Sometimes I'll wear this first and then we'll wear this on top or this on top. Like my foundation routine, it just depends on the day and how like the wind is hitting that day or me thinking about what my day is gonna look like. But either way, I definitely recommend these 2 foundations, and I feel like they would work for a variety of skin types. How could I forget? Okay, this is the Sephora Collection Retractable Brow Pencil. Again, most of my brow products are from the drugstore, but I think I picked this up during the last Sephora sale, and I definitely like it. It's just like a casual brow pencil, easy to grab for. I prefer like brow pencils that are twist up like this and have a brush on the end instead of like ones that you have to sharpen. But also, because there's so many brow pencils that I use from the drugstore, it's hard for me to justify like paying more for one from like Anastasia Beverly Hills or like a more expensive brand. So I feel like this Sephora collection brow pencil is priced fairly, and also it works well. I like how thin it is, and you can draw really thin brow strokes with this, and the color is also pretty nice. The color is, oh, and apparently it's waterproof, but I've never tested that out. Color is Granite, number 12. Yeah, that was everything. Let me know what products you recommend for the Sephora sale, what products that are on your wish list, or what's in your cart this year. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know what videos you'd like to see in the future. Okay, bye.